Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here, and I couldn't be more excited for episode 2 of the Morey Miles Show. We're going to be doing an interview with Ferdinand Omanyala after he ran his 985, world-leading 985 yesterday, and we were able to hop on a quick interview afterwards and, was able to go over some of the key parts within the race and, some of the things that also go into the training, some of the improvements that he's been able to make, and what are some of the things that he's going to be looking for in the future. So, really, really grateful that Ferdinand decided to, hop on the interview for us and be able to give us a ton of great information, and and looking forward to continue to see more of his success in the future. But we're gonna go hop in this show. The new fastest man of the year, 985. I think they first did 987 and then they put it down to 985, correct? Yeah, congratulations again on being able to make that happen. Yeah, I mean, we'll start right at looking at the race and being able to see, I guess some areas that you've been working on. I think you've been putting a huge focus on the start recently. And with that, it seems like you've been able to make a lot of improvements there. Is there anything specific that felt like it really helped you in terms of starting to be able to get out with those first like 3 to 5 steps?
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of the things on the start with Duncan. We've been using the bands activations before the warm-up, before the track workout.
Okay.
And then I changed the way I put my blocks. So I put it a bit closer so that I can be a bit uncomfortable, so that when I take off the blocks, it's I want to just leave the blocks. So you see, I've put the blocks a bit closer to the line.
Okay.
I think like 2 fingers distance, 2 fingers put across.
Okay.
And another thing is to do a lot of starts, even when we do, like we were doing basically in the past, we were doing like 1 or 2 sessions, but now we increase it to around 4 sessions.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, so, and then also I think the 60 meters indoor tour helped.
And so when you went through that start, did it feel like a really good start overall?
Yeah, because towards the end of the tour, my start was now getting better.
Nice. Okay, and so we'll go right through here. I really like looking at the numbers as So
yes.
The time that you spent off the from that, when that foot comes off the block, so we're at 383. We're looking at that at the bottom there, right? And to when that foot hits the ground, you're at about 83. I messed this up there. Okay, and then we're at about 0.08. Right, so that's really, really quick. That's a 0.25. We actually saw Trayvon Bromell get it down in under 2, which is obviously really quick. He's a little bit different in what he does within the start. He's like really quick with that first leg, and then a little bit longer with that back leg. And then the back leg, I was looking at it before too. So you're off at about 0.9, or we just call it right at 4. Let's call it there, 0.40. Okay, and then you're on the ground at 0.25 as well, right? So both of those ended up being 0.25. So again, just to give a comparison, I just did Trayvon Bromell the other day. He was at like 0.15 or 1.8 or something like that, and then he was at 0.3 on that second step, right? So you're quicker on that second step and getting it down, and really quick and being able to also land and accelerate off. So you're 0.8. Right, and then you're off at 2.1, right? So very great within those first few steps, right? In terms of the time there, which is excellent. What I noticed here, and I don't know if you felt this, and if that ended up being a thing, but you really took off great within these first like 3-4 steps, and then you got to like a 5th, 6th step, like right in here. It seemed like you ended up spending a little bit more time, like you had a little bit of a trouble getting through your start phase, like those first 5 steps into your top end speed, right? Because you were really out in front really nicely here. And then it almost seemed like as you started to lift, you had a couple of steps where it didn't feel as comfortable. You might have landed a little bit on the outside part of the foot. Did you feel any of that? Is there anything that you can kind of go into there?
I don't feel anything. I can't remember, but I saw Fred Curley closed in the gap. And then now we were almost at the same position. And then now the acceleration part helped. But I had taken off before him, but he closed in the gap around 20 to 30 meters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was a time there where, yeah, it looked like he was going to be able to potentially close the gap, and then, yeah, like we said earlier, and your whole thing going into it was like, if I get a good start, if I'm out in front, nobody's catching me, right? So,
Exactly.
that ended up holding true here, obviously, with your performance. So, great job on that. And so you didn't really feel anything. You didn't feel like anything, kept spent a little bit longer or anything like that.
No, no, no.
Okay.
So there's a bit of an issue in the third to 10th step, yeah?
Yeah, it was like I want to say, let's look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was like this one, step 6, right? Let's see, let's even
Uh-huh.
get a little bit more detail on the numbers. 0.08. Okay, and we'll even just compare to kind of like Fred Curley here, just so we can get like a reference of maybe what's going on. 508. Okay, and then you ended up going off at about 2.1. Okay, and he ended up going off at 2.9. Okay, so it was not a huge difference, obviously, 0.12 to 0.13. But it just seemed to me, even where your motion happens, and let's look at this one too. We'll go 2.9 to 4.2, right? So we're still at 0.13. Whoops. I'm just writing on the other side here. I'm going to say 4.0 for him because I think 4.2 he's still off the ground, or 3.8 he's still off the ground, but 4.2 he's down. Yeah, so 5.0, right? Because that one was closer to 0.1, right? So you're at 0.13 on that one. So it looks like it was 7th step, right? Kind of regained it again on the 8th step. You look fine. That 8th step looked okay, right? But it almost looks like you end up going really far. You did a really good job here at the beginning with not getting those feet too far across, right? Being able to get great internal rotation of that hip. And, that's always something that I think ends up being a critical thing about sprinters, right? Like the amount of internal rotation that Usain Bolt had, given his height, I think is one of the main differences why, he ran as fast as he did. And then there's even, I don't know if you saw it, but there's a guy that ran like 90, he was like 90 years old and he ran like a 12-second or 13-second 100, something really,
Yeah, I saw
beat a
that.
lot of guys. And he might not have been 90, but he was older, right? And the big thing was like the amount of internal rotation, right? Because when you get older, a lot of times that you lose that, you don't have that same type of range. And I know that's something that we've talked about before in being able to improve kind of that hip range of motion. And you were doing a great job of kind of maintaining it. But then here you could see like you're starting to cross over, a little bit more. If we look to see like Fred Curley, you can see how he's maintaining a position where that foot's not going as much behind the leg, where you're, a little bit coming, too far across there. So again, so and I know you've been working on some parts of, because you were working with some technology there to help you in getting through that kind of drive phase, right? Because I know there was some stuff that was going on with your acceleration. And there's like a bit of a time where you almost were decelerating or weren't continuing to accelerate, and then almost re-accelerating. Is there anything that you worked on with that to be able to help get through that? Because it almost seems like here you kind of might have done that a little bit, right? And so it's really, to me, it's exciting because it just shows that you still have more to be able to get through. But maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, because the machine showed that I wasn't smooth with my running from the transition, the part where you're transiting from low drive to top end speed. There's a little bit of a break there. So that's why coach is doing some, I don't know how we'll correct that, but yeah, it wasn't bad today, but again, there was a dip.
Yeah.
On that. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it. Like I feel like it's definitely gotten, and I don't know, I know like it was, I think 2 weeks ago where you it was like right after you did the that work with the the machine, the technology that you were working with there, where I know had to me it looked so clean. I don't remember exactly where the race was, or what I want to say it was like on the 12th or something like that.
The 998, I think South Africa.
Yeah. And you ran like low 10s. Yeah. Compare kind of the start, right? The kind of the beginning of your race then. I know you didn't run as good of a time, You know, and I know the competition was the same too, right? You almost you get a little bit more pumped up for you know, the top competition. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, give it kind of a comparison maybe there of those two races.
yeah. This type of races give me it's like they remove a beast in me. If
Uh-huh.
the competition is not that stiff, then again the mind seems like it's settling that this is like training. But if
Yeah.
the competition is so stiff, I get more adrenaline, which helps.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Definitely when you get
guess,
to top speed.
yeah. So when I get the best competitors, I also perform the best performance. So it's basically that's how it's been operating since I started competing.
I love it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
did you feel a difference though between this race and, you know, that race in South Africa in terms of your start? Did your start feel better today or, you know, 2 weeks ago? Or did they feel about the same? You know, just kind of from your perspective.
Yeah. This one today I got the best reaction. I think my reaction time was better.
Uh-huh.
So that gave me the confidence to continue now pushing on towards the finish line.
I love
Because
it.
the one we ran with Simbine, we got off, I think the same time. So
Uh-huh.
I was with him up to around the 30 or 40 meter mark, and then I pulled away. But today I pulled away from the start.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
the reaction time was great. And I really think like the first, you know, few steps there were just absolutely tremendous. You know, you did a great
yeah,
job of getting the feet down and being able to transition off. And you know, I think as you continue to get better at that and then continue that through the acceleration phase, you know, the times are
yeah.
just going to continue to improve. So I do want to ask a couple questions too, just like, you know, in terms of your top speed, right? Because that's, I know your
Strength.
forte, right? That's your strength. That's the
Yeah,
thing
yes.
has, I mean, has that always come easy to you? Was that something that was just really natural overall?
Yeah. Because the first race I ran, that was my strength that I won with it.
Yeah.
So that's something I think it comes natural.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, also we've been working on it. So just to improve it, obviously it's not the same as I got into the sport. So it's
Yeah.
better. It's better.
Yeah, I mean, this time, and even looking, because I was doing a thing, you know, a couple days ago about, I just actually, you know, just made the post about, you know, the amount of time spent off the ground, right? And how
Mhm.
important and
Yeah.
how, you know, the elite guys are spending, you know, like 0.12 to 0.13 seconds off the ground, right? And then spend, you know, 0.08 on the ground, right? So we're talking about,
Mhm.
you know, when that foot hits, boom, right? That
Indeed.
9.3 here until being able to transition off. And for you, it almost seems like it's closer to like 0.07, right? It might even be below 0.08. And then the
Yeah.
amount of time that you were spending off the ground, right? So then we go from here until when that foot hits the ground, which for you is closer to 0.13, which even with your height is just like so elite overall. But comparing that to this last year, I feel like, you know, you have made some very big technical strides in terms of your landing. Like you almost seemed more outside with your feet on the, you know, last year, and a little bit
Yeah.
with your legs were a little bit more bent. So, you know, again, from a technical perspective, I feel like you've gotten a lot faster. So maybe, you know, what are some of the things that you've worked on to be able to continue to improve your speed? And what even is your fastest speed, you know, that you've ever gotten calculated at?
I don't think I've done that, but we increased the plyometrics times
Mm-hmm.
because previously we were doing it, let's say once a week, but now we're doing it like twice a week. And now we're
Okay.
focusing so much on when you're doing plyometrics, you focus on getting your feet off the ground as fast as possible as you jump. So that has impacted positively. I see.
Awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. And in terms of your, you know, when you're getting to your top speed, right? Or even just in general, I think that a lot of people, at least I get a lot of different questions about things like, you know, what should you be thinking about? Should you be thinking about dorsiflexion of your feet, or should you be thinking about arm swing or body position, or, you know, all these other things? I mean, when you're sprinting, what's on your mind here? You know, what are you thinking about to be able to especially like those last 50 meters when you're getting to your top speed? Is there anything that you're concentrating on, or are you just like trying to relax?
Yeah, the main thing because since I started relaxing my muscles when I'm running, it's really
Mhm,
helped. So anytime I'm competing and I'm reaching top speed, I just that there's this thing comes in my mind that tells me to just relax
mhm.
and yeah, just relax and push,
I love
which
it.
has really helped. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually been proven to be a main thing with fast people, top sprinters, top the fastest athletes
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
the muscles' ability to relax and contract, right? And the
Yeah.
speed that it's
Yeah.
able to relax and contract ends up being a key contributor to max speed. So the better that you're able to relax the muscles and then contract them with a large amount of force is a direct relationship to top speed. Is a direct
Yeah.
relationship to
Yeah.
the fastest people in the world. So I think that that's a great point and excellent to be able to think about. So in terms of your training, right? Like how often
Mhm.
you're training, and how committed you are to being the fastest person ever, right? I know that we have a
Yeah.
WhatsApp that's about being the fastest ever. What does that look like for you in maybe a week, a month, a year? I mean, however you want to kind of break it down, but I'm sure people are curious about like how much they should be training and how often. And I know talking to the team that you are a dedicated, committed guy. So and that you're like almost have to pull you away from training. Like, come on, Ferdinand, you got to relax a little bit, you got to
No,
rest a little bit.
no,
um
I don't like. Oh, it comes down now to discipline. So
yeah.
like, if it's time to rest, it's time to rest.
Uh-huh.
If it's time to train, it's time to train. No jokes with training. Coach
Yeah.
says I want a 300 meters of 35, 34, 33. That's what you do. Coach says he wants a 120 meters of 12, 12 2 or 12 1 or 12 0. That's what you do. When it comes to training, all your mind is put in training. When it comes to rest, you rest. So I always just follow what coach says, and it has really worked. So that like sometimes you say we are deloading this week, so you can't say you have been given a deloading workout and then you want to go and load again yourself. Maybe you go to the gym. You just have to trust the process.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
have you always, been, this committed to sprinting? Like, when did you get, committed and why? What's your why? What makes it so you're motivated? Because, at the end of the day, at least when it comes to me, a lot of my discipline has been built from being able to better understand, like, why am I trying to do the things I do? Like, what's important to me? And that makes it a lot easier to stay motivated. So like, what is your why? Why are you, so disciplined and so committed?
Yeah, because I started being a hard worker since day one.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
committed myself not to miss any training session. And one thing that has been great to me is I want to be better than I was yesterday. So when I come to training today and I am faster than yesterday, that gives me motivation to come tomorrow. I don't want to lose a day in training that will make me go back to the first day was I started training. So anytime I not compete but train, and I'm feeling I'm way faster. That's like my motivation.
I love it. So you just love the growth. You love being able to
Yeah, I
see
love
the
growth.
improvements.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's like watching a movie. You want to see the next the next series or the next season. So
Yeah.
that's the same thing. I love the growth. I love how you're running. I'm running these fast times, and I want to continue running fast times. So I have to continue training and working hard.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And
Yeah.
I do, want to give a shout out to, the team. So, all the guys that you've been working with, right? All the people that have had a, huge impact on you, right? In your journey. And I guess, that ends up being a big part of it as well, too. The people that you have around you. So, who are the coaches? Who are the people that have really made the biggest difference here as you've gone through this whole process?
Yeah, I've started the field. My coach Dan Kanayemba has had a very big impact because he's such a brilliant coach. His worker has always been working out. Because when I went to South Africa, I remember the first event I ran a 10-1-1, and
Mm.
we had done a very big load the previous week. So he told me just to relax because whatever he's telling me will work out. So a week later, I'm running a sub 10. So
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing and he's been doing it perfectly. And then also my physiotherapist, she's been a great physio. she's brilliant again, because she knows how the muscles are interconnected. You might have an injury in the back, but then it's not the back, it's a hip flex or something. So she really knows my body, she really understands me. And also she's been a great support in this career, as far as this career is concerned. And then now off track, my wife, she's
No, I
been
mean,
very
everybody,
supportive.
yeah, the wife, it's all important, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a whole connection. And then my manager, your manager need to understand which races to give you at which time. So you can't be taken to a Diamond League when you're not ready. So he takes me to the races that he knows will give me confidence. And that really helps, because when you have to start from somewhere, you can't start from the top leagues. So he's been helping me to grow and grow. Now I'm there.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. He's also a brilliant guy in what he's doing, which is really nice. So again, support system is huge. Family, friends, and then also teammates. Because for me, I always love when I see teammates, and they've been helping me because I've been chasing them in training. So you give 20-meter head start and make sure you catch them. So that's training, but again, it's still fun. So the teammates have also played a very big role in this talent.
That's awesome. How did you you meet your coaches and your physio? Like what was the process of being able to select your those people? What made it so it was like, okay, these are the guys I'm going to go with? Because I mean, I'm assuming that there's probably a lot of people that would love to have Ferdinand Omanyala as their guy that they're training, right? So what made it so you're like, okay, this is the coach I'm going with, or this is the physio I'm going with?
So it starts with belief. My coach, I remember we met. I was training at one of the school I am in, the University of Nairobi, and coach was also training there because he's a former sprinter. So we met. We just started talking. I was telling him I ran a race at like a week ago and I won, and he was surprised. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
So he told us we meet the following week, because I was training with one of my training mates and also a guy I've been mentoring. He's like a brother. It's called Dennis. We started this journey together. We were in rugby before, and then we moved to sprinting together. So coach told us, let's meet on Monday. And now that was the first training session. And now just the relationship has been growing. My physio, I met her on during my first team. Not my first team. Actually, in 2017, when I had a back problem, I was really moving from one physio to another, one physio to another, one physio to another. They never diagnosed my back problem well. And it's not even my back that had an issue. It was my hip flexors that had an issue that were affecting my back. So every physio is treating the back, but it's not healing. So I went to her, and she treated it with one session. I was moving around with like 6 months, but now she treated it with one session. And I said, now this is the physio I'm working with. But then another thing that made me really like her is she said, I'm not treating with money now. We're not focusing on money. I want you to grow and reach the level that you want, and then everything else will follow. So I was going for the treatment for free. She was making my sessions free, and everything was just free. Same thing with coach. Coach said, I'll coach you to wherever you want to go, and then money will come later. So I saw these guys were not interested in money. They were not interested in any financial benefits, but they were interested in the journey that you're going to take together.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Focusing on the journey, focusing on the process, and all that will end up coming. I think that's, a great way to go about it. Cause I know a lot of people get caught up on, the why being too much about the money, and then you end up, being unfulfilled and unhappy and all that type of stuff.
The journey is important.
Yeah, exactly. So the type of people, and I think just the development, right? The self-development is a important part of being able to make it all happen. So I mean, is there any recommendations that you have for any young sprinters that are watching this right now, that are looking for a coach, motivation, ways to get disciplined, like what is really the true separator when it comes to yourself now being the fastest in the world, right? 2022, the fastest person in the world. What's the true separator? What really is the difference here?
So to these sprinters, one thing they should know is that I've learned this sprint is not something that will come in a day or a month.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes a lot of time, and it needs patience. You just can't come and say, I want to run, I'm running 11 now, I want to run 10 next month. It can't happen. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, where did you
Unless you
start?
just, I started at 11.4.
11.4. How old were you when you ran
That was
11.4?
that was in 20. I was 20. Now I'm 26.
So
So
6
I started
years.
11.4. Yeah, it took time because
Yeah.
I started running 10.0s last year. The
Okay.
previous years I was running 10.1s, and actually breaking 10.3 was very hard. It was very hard
Okay.
to break 10.3. But when I broke that seal, that level, the 10.3 level has been just growing and growing. So it's a sport that requires a lot of discipline and be true to yourself. You can't be given 3 reps and you're doing 2, or you can't be given 3 reps in training and you're doing 5. Just be true to yourself. When you're given a dose, just finish the dose and go home and rest.
Yeah.
Don't say I still have energy, so I can still go on. That's how you get injuries, and that's how you end up losing the goal and the focus that you have.
I love it. Yeah. And last thing here, and this has been great. I really appreciate it again. A lot of people talk about size and weight. And I know we talked about that a little bit on,
Yeah.
probably about a month ago, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like, some people are like, oh man, your body type, you need to be more like probably Fred Curley is more of like the perfect body type, if there is, right, quote unquote.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
with you and having big legs and weight, I know you talked about where it's like, actually, the more I weigh, the faster I run.
The
So,
faster you run.
yeah, what's your take on that? Because I think that what made me think about that is staying true to yourself, right? And it's like, okay, well, that's as much as staying true to yourself is your body type and how you are. Because I mean, you're very different from Trayvon Bromell. I know he's a little bit, you guys are about the same height, but he's very long. You have much more of like a Christian Coleman type of body type, and even how you sprint, like with your arms and your shoulders and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, what do you think about the whole weight thing?
So I can say, so long as you can carry your body and be fast with your body, just do that.
Yeah.
Because there are guys who are very tall and they're very slow. There are guys who are very tall, but they're very fast. There are guys who are short and fast. So long as you can just manage and carry your body and be fast with your body, I think that's it. Because for me, sometimes, because last year I ran 9.7 with an 87. This year I've run a 9.85 with 84 kgs. So that means I need to, when I deload, I gain more weight because now the workload has reduced. So I guess when I start deloading now for the world champs, I'll add a bit of weight, which will be now getting to the peak.
Yeah. And what's next, right? So like I guess that ends up being the thing that I know that now you got, I'm sure you get a little bit of a break here, but and I know we got the World Championships coming up, but is there anything that you were preparing for here, or what's kind of the next thing that get are you going right back to training? What's your next few weeks look like?
So yeah, we're just getting started. I don't even think I'll get more than 3-day break.
Yeah.
Because now this like preparations to the big championships. So the next focus will be the African champs. We're running the African championships in Mauritius in June 8th to 12th. So that's where now my focus is. That's where now I need to start harvesting these medals. So that's where my focus is right now. But before that, I'll go for some races for just race sharpness. I think I'll be running in Ostrava, Golden Spike. So at least not to lose that race sharpness, so that when I go to the African champs, I'm ready for it. And then after the African champs, we have the Worlds in July, and then the Commonwealth Games come a week later. So every month from next month is a tough one. So just putting myself together. I already passed the Kip Keino. It's already ended now. It's the past. People talk about it. After 3 days, it will be over. Go back to work, maintain the focus.
I love it. Yeah. And we'll keep on working on that drive phase, right? As that drive phase keeps on getting better.
I need to make it. I don't want, when I get off the blocks, people to catch me before I start opening the gap. I need to start opening that gap from the blocks to the end.
Yeah, all the way through, just a consistent. And I know that now you have a target on your back, You're out in front
Yeah.
now, everybody's coming after you. So, got to
Exactly.
maintain the top position. I love to have seen, Marcel Jacobs be in this as well. I almost feel like the times would have been even better if he was in it, but still
But it's
a
sad
great
that
race. Yeah,
it's sad that he got that food poisoning, but we wish him quick recovery.
yeah.
I know we'll meet again soon.
Yes, excited
He's a nice
for
guy.
when that
He's a nice
happens.
guy.
Can't wait for when that happens. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, appreciate you hopping on. Appreciate you doing it in such short notice, right? I'll send over a video too, kind of break down, go even more in depth into the whole thing that we went into with that drive phase, and maybe we all connect on a Zoom, with coach and everything, just to get it all on recording and continue to improve from there.
Yeah, thank you. We need to find out how to improve that drive phase. So that's now
I think
where
it's
we
going
need
to just keep on being the foot contact, right? Just keep working on that foot contact and the body position, because when we start to get the, when the body position starts to get, I think, too far down, right? When you're stuck down here, because you're transitioning, it seemed like you were transitioning out of it through there, right? And then you started to almost sink back down into it. And then, to me, that ends up being a problem, right? When we start to fall back into, the hip, and even though in many ways, to me, I think that having a deeper hip socket ends up being a huge benefit when it comes to sprinting speed. I think sometimes in that acceleration, it ends up being, difficult because it makes it harder to get out of that acceleration, get into to the top speed. So, because you have a little bit of a deeper hip socket naturally there. But yeah, it's going to be, continuing to work on, because that ended up being the separator, right? From you in comparison to Fred Curley, you should, within those 7 steps right in there, he was at 0.1 with foot contact time when you're at 0.13, like you should be at least even with him. And I think that 7th step ended up being the big one that, was a difference there. But, we'll go more into it too with that, again, with a video, and then maybe even a discussion with coach to see what also he thinks, because, I'm looking at it from the number perspective of, where the biggest improvement can be. And to me, is the foot contact time. And, whenever I talk foot contact time, I always think position of the foot in comparison to the hip. And because that, I think, ended up, helping it with the start as well. And now it's just going to be, being able to consistently get that all the way through, those first, 10 steps. Once you get like a great 10 steps, those 10 steps are down, you can do that every single time. I'm the world's got to watch out, because I think you're going to really,
we need the 9.6 this season. 9.6.
Yeah, exactly. 9.6. I love that.
Yeah,
because and that would be, especially against some of the guys that you're going against, and later on in the year, I undoubtedly think that's a something that's going to be put up this season is going to be a 9.6.
exactly.
I know Marcel's trying to do it as well, and I know Bromel too. So there's going to be some great competition, and I'm looking forward to.
We're waiting for Coleman. He's running tomorrow in Tokyo, so let's see what he'll run.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right. So,
all right. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it again, Ferdinand. We'll be contacting soon, and we'll keep on getting better.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon, man. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your big win. I don't know. Do you do anything when you enjoy? Are you going out to dinner with your wife? What are you guys doing?
No, we just pray and thank God for the victory, because the season just gets started. We just need more victories in future. So we'll celebrate during the season after the World Champs.
There you go. I love that, dude. Great mentality. Great freaking mentality.
Thank you.
That's the reason why you're the best. So we're going to be the best in 2022 and continuing to get better from there.
Exactly. The more focus will be on the 2024 Olympics, but we have to build it from this year.
Yeah. Got to get that 9.6. Concentration on 9.6.
Yes.
All right. I know it's later where you're at, so get some rest, and we'll be in touch soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. Yep. Thank you. Talk to you soon.